Royals better. Meg got mad as Dior snubbed her but collaborated with Kate on next project, new ambassador. It seems that Meghan is obsessed with Dior and is looking for ways to become its brand ambassador, the way Princess Diana did. But she didn't know that Dior had a very close relationship with the British royal family, and they would not give up that relationship for someone like her. It's known that Dior intends to collaborate with Kate on the next project. We should not expect to see Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, rolling through a field of peonies for a new Christian Dior perfume advert anytime soon. A source at the French fashion house has denied rumors of an imminent deal, telling the Telegraph that reports crowning a new Duchess of Dior have left the team in Paris nonplussed as to how the story came about. A spokesperson for the Sussexes has also said the story is not true, but Dior clearly does hold significance for the Sussexes. The couple have routinely worn the label at high-profile events, and in doing so are continuing a long-standing connection between the Parisian house and the British royal family, dating back over 70 years. In that time, Dior has masterfully navigated the internal politics attached to the royal family life, at one point dressing both Wallis Simpson and Princess Margaret. History shows then that the Sussexes may be more valuable as unofficial ambassadors than official ones. Meghan's dedication to Dior is well documented. She's known to love pumps, handbags, and makeup from the brand. At Archie's christening in 2019, she wore a white Dior couture day dress. At the funeral of the Queen, she wore a Stephen Jones for Dior hat. On a royal tour of Morocco in 2019, she wore another cream couture gown. Her feminist values in many ways align with those of Maria Grazia Chiuri, creative director since 2016. You could imagine the two bonding over the work of author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, a Dior collaborator, and assume that Meghan must have a £690 "We Should All Be Feminist" slogan t-shirt. Yes, t-shirt, as worn by Dior models in 2016, somewhere in her Montecito closet. Harry wore a Dior suit for his father's coronation in May, as well as his recent London court appearance. A source close to the Sussexes told the Telegraph that the prince has inherited his long-existing relationship with the house from his mother, and that simply likes working with Dior and wearing their clothes. The late Princess Diana's own connection with Dior began in September 1995. The then First Lady of France, Bernadette Chirac, presented the princess with a new, unreleased bag design called the Chouchou on a royal visit to a Paul Cézanne retrospective at the Grand Palais in Paris. Diana loved the bag and was photographed carrying it routinely in the mid-1990s, generating enough publicity and enough sales that Dior would later rename the style the Lady Dior in her honor. But decades before Diana's patronage, Christian Dior himself courted British royalty. Throughout the early 1950s, the designer was infatuated with Princess Margaret, her hourglass figure so perfectly suited his new look silhouette. In his memoir, originally published in 1956, Dior wrote that his muse Margaret crystallized the whole popular frantic interest in royalty. She was a real fairy princess, delicate, graceful, exquisite. Margaret first met Dior in May 1949, when at the age of 18, she visited his Paris couture salon on her first European holiday. After the trip, she routinely wore his newly popular brand. Famously, she was photographed by Cecile Beaton in Dior Tulle for her 21st birthday in 1951, but she also wore the brand to royal ascot as well as private parties. Perhaps it would have been seen as unpatriotic for the new Queen Elizabeth to wear French couture. Princess Margaret could enjoy the fashion freedom that came with being a spare. Similarly, Harry need not pledge allegiance to London's Savile Row in the way that his brother William does. Dior's arrival in popularity in Britain could largely be credited to Margaret's influence. In April 1950, Princess Margaret and her mother, the Queen, attended a private fashion event hosted for the British aristocracy at London's French Embassy. Later, when the Duchess of Marlborough and Dior organized a fashion show for the British Red Cross in November 1954, Margaret was invited as Dior's guest of honor.